You guys, we have got to talk about Kim Kardashian because this week has been absolutely insane for her. Like, she is going through it publicly on multiple fronts. First, she's reliving one of the most traumatic events of her life, the infamous Paris robbery, and on top of that, people are out here saying Kanye West is gearing up to sue her over their kids. Yeah, it's a whole mess, and we need to get into every part of it, because between the diamonds, the courtroom drama, fake legal letters, and some deeply shady parenting accusations, this one's a ride. So let's start with the Paris robbery trial because, oh my god, the drama. Kim just returned to Paris to testify against the guys who robbed her at gunpoint back in 2016, and the French press have nicknamed these men the Grandpa Robbers. You cannot make this up. These were elderly men who tied Kim up in her hotel room and stole over $10 million worth of jewelry. That night changed her entire life. And now, she's finally telling her story directly to the court, all these years later. But while the headlines should have been about her powerful testimony, people were seriously distracted. Because Kim showed up to court decked out in diamonds. Yes, you heard that right. The woman who was literally robbed of millions in diamonds was glistening in new ones while facing her robbers in court. Some people were like, "Girl, what are you doing?" But others, including me, are kind of loving the boldness. I mean, think about it. These men tried to scare her, silence her, humiliate her. And now here she is, strutting into court looking like a walking vault. That's not just fashion, that's revenge. That's psychological warfare with stilettos. One of the robbers even wrote a book about the heist. Yes, a whole book, titled I Kidnapped Kim Kardashian. The man behind the mask was out here doing press saying he didn't know who she was until the next day. He said he regrets what he did, but then he wrote a book? Make it make sense. So Kim showing up in full glam with more jewelry than ever, that's not just petty, that's poetry. That's showing the people who tried to take you down that you're still here, richer and stronger. Her testimony in court was chilling. She described how she used to feel safe in Paris. Her security team wasn't even with her that night because they were with her sister Courtney at the club. She said she always felt comfortable walking around the city, and that all changed in a single night. Now, she won't even sleep unless there are at least 6 security guards at her home. She's afraid to leave the house, not just for herself, but because she thinks people might realize she's gone and use that opportunity to break in. Can you imagine living with that kind of fear? And just to round this off, the verdict came in. 8 men were found guilty. But plot twist, most of them won't be serving more time because of their age and health. So Kim had to fly to Paris, face these men, relive her trauma, and they're probably going back home with ankle monitors. The system, y'all.
A verdict has just been announced in the trial of the gang accused of robbing Kim Kardashian inside of her Paris hotel room back in 2016.
8 of the defendants have been found guilty, including the accused ringleader. 2 members of the so-called Grandpa Robbers were acquitted on charges of planning and carrying out the heist.
Now, as if that wasn't enough drama for 1 week, cue the Kanye mess. Because rumors started flying that he sent Kim a cease and desist letter accusing her of violating their custody agreement and exploiting their kids. The letter claimed Kim let their daughter North attend the Met Gala and posted her on TikTok without Kanye's consent. And it went even further, saying Kanye hadn't seen one of his sons all year, that Kim was denying him access, and that she was using the kids for publicity. Naturally, the internet exploded. People were like, is this real? Is Kanye really suing her? But then outlets like TMZ and E! News jumped in and said no, this letter is fake. According to them, the law firm listed in the letter doesn't exist in California where the custody agreement was finalized, and the phone number doesn't even work. So the whole thing appears to be a hoax. Just another online stunt designed to stir up drama and get Kim's name trending. But here's the kicker. Even though the letter was fake, a lot of people believed it. Because the truth is, Kanye has been reckless before. He's gone on social media to call out Kim's parenting. He's ranted about not having access to his kids. And let's not forget, he once put North's voice on a song without Kim's permission. A song that also featured Diddy, by the way, which, yikes, considering everything we've learned about Diddy recently. Why would you involve your daughter in anything tied to that man? That's why even people who aren't Kardashian fans find themselves siding with Kim when it comes to co-parenting. Say what you want about her, but she doesn't put her kids in situations that feel unsafe. Meanwhile, Kanye was trying to enroll North in his own made-up school, Donda Academy, which reportedly had classes like parkour, a sushi-only lunch menu, and zero real curriculum. I mean, if your own kids aren't attending your school, what does that say? So even though this letter might be fake, the tension between Kim and Kanye over their kids is very real. And public opinion? It's leaning heavily in Kim's favor. People feel like she's the more stable parent, the one making decisions based on what's actually best for the kids, not what makes headlines. Which brings us full circle to this wild week she's had. On one hand, she's reclaiming her power in Paris. On the other, she's dodging rumors that her ex is trying to drag her into court again. And let's not ignore how this whole week has also reignited the ongoing debate about Kim's public image. Because when she posted photos of herself walking into court, decked out like a fashion editorial, people were split. Some were like, this is a court case, not a Vogue shoot. Others said she was just flipping the script on her trauma and taking control. Personally, I think if you can turn your most terrifying moment into a power move, more power to you. Wear the diamonds, pose for the shot, let the world know you weren't broken. But hey, not everyone's going to see it that way. Some folks want Kim to be quiet, humble, and invisible in moments like these. But that's just not who she is. She's going to be loud, glamorous, and unapologetically herself, even in a courtroom. So, what do you think? Is Kim reclaiming her narrative in the most iconic way possible, or is this all just another publicity tour? And are these Kanye custody rumors something we should be concerned about, or just another internet hoax gone viral? Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss what's next in this wild Hollywood saga.